Welcome into Sports Tonight. Bailey Burmaster alongside Lee Smith.
What's up?
It's the Friday edition of Sports Tonight. We have quite a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the Braves opening day, finally here. Took us long enough. The Hawks.
Stunning.
It's a new Hawks
Stunning
team,
people.
and we have to talk about it. We're obviously going to talk about March Madness, what happened last night, what's in store tonight, because there are some massive games tonight. And then we're going to give you the latest on Atlanta United and check in with them and hear from players and coach. But before we do that, let's start with the Braves taking on the Phillies, starting where they left off last season for those who want to relive pain.
Oh, no.
2 straight seasons of losing in the NLDS to the Phillies. Everyone was a little hurt by that. I mean, this roster is stacked. They should go further than that, but the Phillies have their number. Well, they start back at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, and it started a little interesting. Brandon Marsh, Buford native, was able to get a 2-run homer off of Strider, and that ultimately led to him being pulled and moving on, and wasn't a whole lot working up for the Braves.
No.
And then they have a monster 8th inning. They have, in the top of the 7th, Adam Duvall gets things going with a 2-run double.
Yep.
And then the 8th inning, they scored 7 runs.
Of course.
Unleashed.
That is like the 2023 edition of the Braves.
Oh, boy. It was beautiful. Matt Olson, birthday boy, shout out, happy birthday, had 3 triples in this game.
That's crazy.
3, it must be nice. 3 triples in this game.
3 doubles.
Thank you. 3
Doubles.
doubles. 3 doubles.
3 triples for
3
that
triples.
guy would be incredible.
You're right. 3 doubles. Thank
I'm
you.
pretty sure he didn't have 3 all last year.
No,
There's no way.
3 doubles. One which was a bases clearing
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
So, the Braves end up beating the Phillies 9-3 and start their season with a dub.
Let's just go down this.
Please
I'm
do.
just going to look at the box score. Duvall double to left, Arcia and Harris scored. Harris single to center, Olsen scored. Acuna single to left, Harris, Duvall, Darno to third. It's everybody.
It's everyone.
That's the crazy part. Everybody except for like Ozuna.
I mean, the
And
lineup is stacked. If you didn't check it out,
It is crazy.
Jared Kelenic started at left field. Got the nod today.
But that's crazy though. Duvall's hitting too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe this is it.
it might be. I don't know.
We'll learn more as more games go, but I mean, I ain't mad about it. Can we talk about another game that was played today, and it was Brewers-Mets?
Oh yeah.
And the bases cleared, and I would like to say something. That was the softest
It's
benches clearing
baseball.
I've
Of course
ever
it's
seen.
a soft
No,
benches
okay, but I think it was warranted. I think he definitely slid and hit him in the leg. But it was like everyone slowly just started coming
Yeah.
up. I was like, okay, you might as well stay there.
Yeah.
You're just getting up to look cool.
I just love how like when the pitchers come out from the outfield and you're like, guys, by the time you get there, it's over.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What?
I don't know.
Fake tough guy sport.
All right. We want to switch gears. Do we want to talk about the team that's actually shocking us right now?
Yes, we do.
All right. So let's talk about the Hawks, and let's talk about let's rewind. So let's remember they have a plethora of guys injured, 4 of which are their top players
Contributors.
or contributors. Sadiq Bey, Jalen Johnson, Trey Young, and the latest update on Trey is he's been cleared to do light hand movements for that.
But nothing crazy.
So we have no idea when he's going to return.
Is it Kongwu still out too, right?
Yep. With the toe, right? Aggravated it.
Yep.
He came back, but then after one game, back on the injury report. I had a theory that, I think Ellie and I talked about it this week. Trey was not coming back, no matter what. He had seen enough of this team.
Yeah.
He would rather be healthy. And the reality is, it's like, what, you come back to play in a play-in game, lose, and then you're done?
Yeah. That's probably what's going to happen.
And then DeJounte Murray
But,
started popping off.
yep.
Now, for those who don't know, there is this little bit of a narrative. I'm not saying we believe in it. I'm just giving you the narrative that is out there in the streets. because you know the streets
in the
talk.
streets.
And in the streets, the people are saying that this team plays better when DeJounte Murray is leading it and not Trae Young. Whether I believe that or not is not what I'm getting into. I'm just giving you the facts. Well, they have now won 4 straight. 2 of those against the Boston Celtics, who are the best team in the East.
In absolutely dramatic fashion both times. The first time coming back from being down 30 points. 30 points, which I believe I heard on ESPN is only the 9th time that's ever happened in the history of them recording games. Like 9.
I would also like to point
Ever.
out.
And then 2 days later, they go and they beat the Celtics again.
Could it be argued, and I'm not saying this team is better with DeJounte or Trae, I don't want to get into that. But I do believe, especially this season, you could argue DeJounte Murray is the way more clutch player than Trae Young. He has had, I think I was trying to do the math right now, the ones I can remember, 4 game-winning shots.
This season,
2 of them buzzer beaters,
yes.
which were I think back-to-back.
Yeah.
And that shot he had last night was over Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
One of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know what to
I
make
can't
of
explain it.
Season
I can't
high,
explain
44
it.
points. My favorite thing is
Took 1,000 shots, scored 44 points.
my favorite thing is he goes in the presser suit. Career high thingy. What did I say? Season high?
Career high.
Career high. I'm messing up things.
Career high,
It's
44.
Friday. Triples. We're throwing out triples. We're throwing out
That had to have
career
been his
high.
career high in shots, too. I don't know exactly how many. It was a ton.
So, long story short, what I'm getting at, he goes into his post game, and he's been having a nagging back injury all season. Quinn Snyder calls him a pro. He takes care of his body. He wants to play, so he's going to continue to play. And he was asked about it, and DeJounte Murray was rather passionate in saying, we want to win. We are not tanking.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to play, I'm going to play. And even if I'm injured, I'm going to do everything to play because we're not tanking. Lee, my question to you is, do you take that as any form of a little maybe shot or dig at
I think
Trae
so.
Young?
I think so. I really do. But, yeah, I don't see how it's not.
It's easy to be able to walk that back and just be like, no.
But is it
as a
like
team-
possibly like a indirect like shot at all the other teammates too, though, that are injured and not just Trae?
Well, let's
mean-
see. I would say Jalen Johnson doesn't come across as soft to me. So I don't think it would be geared
Is
at
Buffkin
him.
still injured?
Buffkin's still injured. Onyeka's still injured.
yeah.
Sadiq Bey, ACL. What are you going to do?
Yeah, well, that's
So how
yeah.
many people could it really be geared towards?
I'm
I
just
guess
wa-
is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
I don't know. It just I understand you have to use both of your hands to play basketball, but your non-shooting pinky finger just it. To me, I don't know. Just
It's interesting. I think what we can definitely
I mean,
say
because your
for
back,
certain,
like you got, like if your back's messed up, like you feel that just walking, let alone jumping,
I think
contorting to pass around defenders, like going around, like I mean,
I
don't know.
I think this is safe to say. It's going to be a very interesting offseason.
Oh yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I think we're going to be really busy year round.
So do you think DeJounte Murray in basically the last week has shot his trade value up? I mean, is that possibly what the Hawks could
Well-
be doing? I mean, or at least benefiting from? I mean, you beat the
So-
Celtics twice in that fashion.
I think he's helping himself, but I would also like a little bit of a hot take. I have a theory, and there's nothing to support this theory, but I think Quinn Snyder is a 10 times bigger fan of DeJounte Murray than he is Trae Young.
Oh, okay.
Why I say that is because of the interactions I watch between Quinn and DeJounte in the play of things.
Yeah.
And then I watch how Quinn interacts with Trae in the play of things. I also watch how DeJounte celebrates big moments
Yeah.
and Trae celebrates big moments and what teammates
Yeah.
gravitate to who. I think those things are body language things that I pay
get
attention
it, but
to.
like moving on from Trae.
I get it. No, I know.
Because when he's on, he's on. Like no one can stop him.
And he's your franchise guy.
It's
He's
just
the
a
face.
defense. if the defense was a little bit
This
better.
team, it's almost less about Trey and more about the team is not in a position to
Right.
support
Right.
what Trey lacks.
Right.
So I think, I don't know, it's going to be a very interesting
I know.
offseason.
Hey, but good for the Hawks, though.
Yeah. I mean, they're
People are
winning.
talking about them now.
Let's have some fun.
People are finally talking about them.
Let's have
It just
some
took
fun.
2 incredibly dramatic wins over the best team in the NBA to do it.
Okay, speaking of fun, I want to give Lee a second for his flowers. We gave me and Ellie, I'm looping you in here because we did this together. We gave Lee a homer hard time yesterday
It's cool. Go ahead.
because of Bama, and they ended up winning. They ended up winning and shocking a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
They did not shock me, though.
are you satisfied with that? So Ellie said she would give Lee his flowers when they cut down the nets.
I mean, everybody thought I was crazy yesterday, but now I'm not the crazy one. It's crazy how that happens.
But that's March Madness, right?
It is March Madness. Or it's just called playing
So tell the
defense,
people-
finally.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, okay, well, okay.
Tell people how
the
you
UConn.
celebrate it.
We got to
We
get
don't-
we got to get to
We're
UConn
not
first.
jumping the
You know
gun.
what? Yeah, we
We're
got to
not
get past
jumping the
Clemson.
gun. We're gonna
Which,
let
by
him
the way, we
celebrate.
lost to Clemson earlier in the season at home. So hey, we might not win this next game. But you know what we did? We took down that number 1 seed. How about that? Come on.
All right, show people. I
Okay,
want this part.
okay,
Show
here's-
people how you're
okay.
celebrating.
I can't really zoom in.
Go higher so they can see
Got
it.
little cookies.
Should I zoom in while you just sit there? No, that would be way too hard to have to do.
March
Wait,
right now. March
so-
Madness for me is a little sweet.
Can you get?
It's a little
hold on.
sweet.
Can I touch the cookie?
Well, I got to take a bite
I
first.
want them to see the bunny.
Okay.
Hold
I'm
on,
coming.
we're gonna show you the bunny. Just go down to the this way. Nope, other way. Yes, now they can see the bunny, and it's edible. For all those who celebrate Easter, there's a bunny on the cookie.
So yeah, it was
take your
fried.
first
It was
bite.
look.
We're
It's
gonna let him take his bite as his victory lap on us. Did you eat the bunny?
not yet.
Oh, I thought that's what you were eating. What's the review? 1 out of 10?
Very good. Very good.
Okay, beautiful. While he finishes eating that, I'm going to tell you what we got lined up tonight for some games. There's some really fun ones. At 7:09, NC State and Marquette. I have Marquette in my Final Four, so
Ooh.
I'm looking for them to pull out the win. 7:39, Gonzaga and Purdue. Zach Edey, everyone knows who Zach
Yep,
Edey is,
yep.
so we'll see how that fares. This is the one everyone's going to be watching at 9:39.
Duke.
4-seed Duke taking on 1st-seed Houston. What a game. Can't wait to see that one. It's in Dallas at the American Airlines Center, so Dallas always a great place. The last game of the day, 3-seed Creighton and 2-seed Tennessee. So
Who you got, Brett?
Tennessee.
Tennessee or Creighton?
Tennessee, but I'm terrified.
Okay, he
What's the
says
score?
Tennessee, but he's terrified.
72-68.
So Brett says 72-68
All right,
Tennessee.
I need everyone rapid fire. We'll get everyone looped in here. NC State, Marquette, Ellie, go. She says NC State. I say Marquette.
NC State.
Brett.
NC State.
Wow, I'm the only Marquette person. Wow, everyone
Upset.
hates me. Okay. Zag or Purdue, if I can speak. Okay, neither. I'm gonna go with Purdue.
Purdue.
Zags.
Zags,
Oh.
okay. Duke or Houston, Ellie? Houston. I'm also going Houston.
Yeah.
Houston?
Chalk.
Houston.
Oh, all of us
Four
got
Houstons.
Houston.
Okay.
Okay, final one. Creighton, Tennessee. Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee.
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 Okay, so
Okay.
we agree on the night games. So we'll see how those fare out. We're going to keep it going. We want to get to some Atlanta United sound.
right.
So we're going to keep you updated on what's going on with them so Lee can finish his cookie. Everyone listening.
Happy to be back.
And they issued a timeline on Stian's recovery and to return. That's still the same, right? That has not changed.
Yeah, has not changed, but cautiously optimistic about it after the intervention. I think the doctors were very positive about it, so we'll see how he responds after that. But we are positive that might not take a long time. It may be actually a quick recovery.
The partnership that Noah and Derek had against Toronto, I know the conditions made things tough, but what were the good things that they did, and what were some of the things that maybe they need to work on if they're paired together against Chicago on Sunday?
No, I think they were pretty good, pretty solid, honestly, when you talk about the behaviors of those two and the back four in general. I think they were pretty good, pretty awesome. There were a few things, maybe in the distribution, not distribution, I never use that word, I'm sorry, but the play from the back, the build-up play, and against man for man, marking and identify some counter moves, stuff like that. It was tough. It was a tough game, a difficult game to play, especially with the conditions of the wind and the grass and all this. But we talk about that. It was more in possession, what I was a little bit more, how I can say, coaching. But out of possession, I think actually the back line had a good game.
Derek did mention that you had talked to them about just the filling in space behind. If somebody steps, you got to make sure that that space is covered.
Yes, I think they were pretty good on that. It was, of course, you can always talk afterwards, the goal, when Noah stepped up and how we just closed down that. I think Brooks did. Derek was a little bit late, but it was a great touch by the kid. So you have to give credit also to your opponent. It was a great goal, but things that we can do better is those principles of pressure on the ball, cover on the back, and we normally did very well.
From what you've seen of Chicago thus far in 2024, what's different for them this year? I know they have Kuipers coming in, Acosta, some of the new signings. From a technical standpoint, how have those new players kind of changed things for them this year?
Well, it's also the new right back. I think the center backs are solid too. The new right back is a bit more solid, maybe, less aggressive going forward, but more solid. The 9 for me is the one that might change things for them. I think it's a pretty good 9 when you look at his resume, where he's playing, and the amount of goals he has scored. You have to give him some respect. And then obviously you cannot forget Shaqiri as the main playmaker for them. But then Acosta, again in midfield, that makes them a bit more mobile and more, balance in that part of the field. And I think they have a very good squad. And when they're in the middle block, they're very tough to break. Out of that 4-4-1-1, 4-4-2 shape, they move pretty well, and then in transition they can counter very aggressive. So it's kind of same ideas, but probably with a couple players that can make the difference for them.
It's not official yet that Henry will play on Sunday, but there's some discussion that he might have action. What's it going to be like having him?
Oh, Andrew Goodman. We don't know. That's up to them. If he's on the field, of course, I will say hi, and that will be good to see him again. But once the whistle blows, then it's Atlanta versus Chicago.
You mentioned the man marking that Toronto is doing. Do you expect that to be a one-off kind of thing, just maybe this one game where you see it all year, or are other teams potentially going to adopt similar principles?
There are some other teams that might use that at times. In the old system with the older coaches, Red Bulls, at times they were doing that, pairing man for man. At times, Columbus did at times against us. And there are some games maybe not as aggressive as Toronto did, but yeah, and that was only the first half, just to clarify. I think the second half they put normally 2 on our number 9, and then the side effect is you have one more in the build-up, as in the first half they were very aggressive, 3-4-3 on the back, and Shane O'Neill stepping up all the way on Nick Firmino, at times very, very close to our box. So that was interesting, but again, we're finding the process and continuing evolving in our process, and when we face that, I think we'll be more prepared because we watched the film, the players understood what we can do better in those situations, and I hope next time we do better.
This is maybe impossible to answer, but if Yurgo, Santiago were there, and Caleb, do you think Toronto would have gone man-to-man in the first half against Shaw?
Well, it's very hard to say. It's very hard to say, and I don't want to come across as, the absences and the internationals were not there. I had and I have full confidence in the lineup we put against Toronto. I think a lot of those players had an outstanding individual performance. Sadly, we couldn't get the 3 points, and there were a couple, cohesion issues in certain partnerships in there that maybe didn't help, but eventually I think those guys are putting the work in, and I'm very confident anytime I use one of them, they're going to respond well. It was a good test for them, and I think the most part I'm happy with their performance.
That being said, the differences and the benefits having everybody back, both in training and for match day. I know you have to navigate these things a couple of times during the season, but what is that like to have everybody back?
Yeah, you can see immediately the response of the whole squad when everyone is back. It's just they're happier. They miss their friends. I mean, here, we miss the interactions with some of them, and it was 6 players out of the international plus Stian that had a couple days off with the injury, surgery, and stuff like that. So once they're back, everyone is happy. Everyone is trying to play today. I think they enjoyed the session. They had very, very good session today. They made a couple very good plays, just one touch, and it was good to see. So the quality arises, of course, but also the mood of the team is much better.
I think it's the midfield like Chicago with Acosta, with Herbers, and with Shaqiri, all guys who are very mobile, all guys who can get forward and attack. What are the challenges that presents for your midfield?
Well, mobility, and how we can be able to unmark ourselves. So at times, when you play against 2 center mids, like similar to Orlando game, they were pressing 4-4-2 with Muriel and the 9. You had almost an American advantage in there. Your double pivot plus Thiago against their double pivot. So it was about how we can find that extra center mid. When they match you in there, it's about how you can unmark yourself and either third man pass or attacking the space in certain areas. Or at times we can find the tactical solution to overload with an extra player in there, so we create a box or a diamond in there to create a numerical advantage. It depends of the game plan that we're putting for Chicago, but eventually we need mobility, we need to be on the front foot, we need to be constantly playing, and the ball moves fast and playing and moving. That always helps when they match the triangle in the middle. But I would add that Gaston Jimenez could be playing too, and he's a very good player. I always appreciate the quality he brings to their game, so that's another possibility that, of course, will be difficult to handle for my players. But hopefully we can give them the solutions and the tools to succeed in that game.
The flip side, when they have the ball and then they're able to open up, Shaqiri drifting wide, Herbers drifting wide, what challenges does that provide you defensively?
Yes, we have to be very alert in those transition moments. We already watched the film a little bit on the triggers that they get to be compact, but also to have a good transition moment for the moment where they regain the ball. So again, the discipline of the players, big emphasis on both fullbacks don't go at the same time, and the center mids, our double pivot, always aware of the active defending, keep an eye on the important players they have. It's always the same process in MLS. Most of the opponents have a very nice 10, a very nice 9, and 1 or 2 quality wingers. So you have to be alert almost in every game. So we are constantly reminding our players about the active defending and the balance, right? How many numbers we want in attack versus how many numbers we want in defense. And it's kind of standard nowadays.
Works well. I've been playing with Noah pre-season quite a bit. We got a good little connection on and off the field. I try to help him as much as I can, and I think it's good. He has all the attributes to be a very good centre back, and I just keep telling him, just keep talk as much as you can, because it helps everyone else around him. So yeah, it's good.
What do you think y'all can do better against Chicago if you're paired together?
Just connecting more. Just the manager said after the game, if one of us steps out, make sure the other one's covering right around, and just talking more. I think in the Toronto game, they didn't have too many chances. I think end of the second half, it got a bit open, which a lot of games do in this league. But I thought before that, it was going okay. The first goal was a bit frustrating. Like I said, I need to cover around quicker. And yeah, I thought it worked okay.
So when Pineda's talking about stepping up and covering ground, that first goal is an example of one of those situations.
I think I could have been closer to Noah. Brooks could have tucked in a bit more. But to be fair to the striker, he got a shot off quickly, because Noah put the tackle in, and within a second he hits it. I was expecting him to take another touch to get close to me, so then I can put in a tackle. So he took it well, to be fair to him.
One of the things that a lot of people have talked about you, one of the things they appreciate is your level of communication with everybody around you. Have you always been this way? Was this something you had to make yourself do?
I've always been that way. I think the last couple of years I've really worked on it. It's how you speak to people. It's the last couple of years I really worked on that. Before I used to just shout at everyone, and it wasn't positive because sometimes you shout at some person, they react negatively. They put their head down, they go in their shell, and then it's a lose-lose battle for everyone. So it's just knowing what players you can shout to get them rattled up. Like Gigi, I can shout at Gigi and you know he's going to get angry and play better. Sometimes you need to just say, oh, come on. Some players just head up, keep going, so then they kind of can slowly work their way back into the game. So it's just about how you communicate to the people, and yeah, the last couple of years I think I've really just practiced that.
Eric, what does Chicago do well?
Their first press is pretty good. I think they press pretty hard at the start. They got some good individual players. Shaqiri, the new striker, looks a handful. Acosta is a good player. So they got a few new players, and I think they look like a different team than last year. So it's going to be a tough game, but they're coming to the Bends, and we know how much we enjoy playing there, and I'm just especially looking forward to getting out there and just making it right from the Toronto game, because it was a bit disappointing to lose that game, and just hopefully get some goals and pick up the morale again.
As a veteran, and we talked about Noah earlier, as a veteran, what are kind of the things that you're telling him that with him being a young player this year?
Just positioning, and even sometimes just on the ball, sometimes just be composed a bit, try to keep it simple. But Noah's a very good player. The one thing I like about Noah the most is he wants to learn as well. So he's constantly asking questions. He's taking things on board. So yeah, he's a bright future, and just looking forward to just working with him and just seeing how he grows.
Is he a guy you can yell at, or is he a guy you have to be more subdued to?
Nah, I shout, sometimes us as defenders, we have to be aggressive. I want him to be aggressive, and he has all that. He has that aggression in him. That's the one thing I like about him. He has that bite about him, and yeah, I like when I see him angry.
Yeah.
When you're 18 and you're a center back, how steep is the learning curve when you're jumping into the?
It just depends, really. Depends how much you watch football. Depends how much you watch players in your own position. I remember at that age, I had a few good mentors to look forward to. I was watching Richard Dunn, James Collins, Premier League veterans. So I was just learning from them every day. So just depends, really. If you're good enough, it doesn't matter what age you are. And I think Noah is good enough. So he is very young. It's just about getting that experience, learning how to deal with certain situations, not to drop his head after certain situations. So it's just, learning curve.
Toronto had a lot of man-marking principles throughout the game. How difficult did that make it for y'all to build up?
It was pretty difficult, to be honest with you, just because we didn't expect it too much. And then when we did go long, I felt like their back three big centre-backs did well to cope with the long balls. I think it'd be a different game this Saturday, or Sunday, sorry.
Dipping out early to wrap up here on Sports Tonight. We're going to end with what is on your mind. Lee, I will let you take the reins first.
How sweet it is to be an Alabama basketball fan.
How long did you think about that?
Oh, about 20 seconds ago.
Love that. Wait,
Yeah.
eat the bunny for everyone while we're on air.
Oh, okay.
Bunny eaten.
Gone.
Ooh, that's crunchy.
Oh, crunch, yeah. No, all right.
For me, Illinois won yesterday, and I was hating on Brad Underwood and the Fighting Eye. I still hate them, and I still don't want them to win. So I'm hoping they'll lose soon or eventually.
When we get back here on Monday, guarantee you Alabama's going to be in the Final Four.
All right, we'll
Write
give you
that
your
down.
flowers then. But for now, on this edition of Sports Tonight, Lee Smith, Bailey Burmaster, join us again next week for more sports coverage, all the latest. We're going to have a lot to talk about. See ya.